Upwards of 10 million people remain in a state of despair and disaster in the Philippines, displaced, homeless, hurt, or mourning the loss of family in the wake of Typhoon Haiyan. Tonight, Canada is part of the world response to the massive storm. The Philippines is made up of more than 7,100 islands. Those in the south were the worst hit, with Tacloban City bearing a huge brunt of the destruction. These before and after photos show the level of devastation, both in the community and at the airport. Giwan in eastern Samar was one of the first areas hit when the typhoon made landfall. Nearly every building in the city was flattened. The biggest challenge remains getting access to the survivors, who are now hungry, thirsty, and without shelter. In makeshift hospitals, doctors are being forced to treat people with no anesthesia. Desperation is leading people to loot grocery stores for whatever they can find. Well, the CBC's Chris Brown is in the capital, Manila, now, where it's already Tuesday morning. Chris.
Peter, the president of the Philippines has declared a state of calamity, but even that concept doesn't really capture the extent of what's happened here or the unfolding humanitarian crisis. In the city of Tacloban, where no one yet knows how many thousands perished, first the storm washed away structures, and now it seems civil order is dissolving too.
If you have water or food there, maybe you can give us.
People are hungry and thirsty. There's hardly any fuel to be had, and there's too much temptation for survivors to grab anything they can get. The police director says he's deployed hundreds of officers and soldiers to stop the looting and to rein in the chaos. There are still bodies rotting in the streets and reports of the dead being buried in mass graves by the hundreds. Disease could soon become a very real threat to survivors.
Entire areas have been completely and utterly decimated. So keeping those alive, as well as dealing with the corpses, you know, they're concurrent priorities.
As the military gets access to more and more cut-off communities, the scope of the destruction spreads. Winds of over 300 kilometers an hour pulverized even concrete buildings. The storm surge in places was over 6 meters, sweeping far inland and totally submerging the downtown of Tacloban and many offshore islands in 2 states. The city's mayor lamented today that the rescuers are depleted themselves.
Even the day after the storm, we were retrieving bodies at the same time clearing roads. And the problem is 90% to 95% of people in City Hall are also casualties.
Block after block, homes are utterly annihilated. The people in them, gone. Churches and any other buildings that are standing have been turned into shelters, but at this point, no one really has a handle on the numbers of people without a place to live, much less how long it will take to find everyone someplace to go.
The most problem here is food. Many people die. We need food.
The rest of the world is responding to the call for help. Over 130 countries are sending supplies or money or aid. American Marines and aircraft based in Okinawa have started shuttling supplies into nearby airports. There is so much grief and so much heartbreaking loss. This young man and his brothers know their mother is dead. Her body is lodged under a coconut tree.
Very bad, I feel very bad. I could not sleep. She was a very good mother. I am very hopeless. Everything is gone.
The truth is, Peter, in a country made up of so many small islands, when a storm like this strikes, there really are very few places you can run.
You know, Chris, there's been criticism that the people weren't given enough warning about the storm. What are you hearing?
Well, authorities did sound the alarm. They did try to move, in fact, thousands of people to reinforce shelters in the hours ahead of the storm, but it was just so powerful, Peter, in the end, it didn't seem to make much difference.
All right, Chris, thank you. Chris Brown in Manila.